Welcome to Optimal Living Starts Here, where we empower you, especially veterans and your families, to live healthy, happy lives. And today, I am your host for the day, again, Bersandra Kenny Brew. We have a very special guest that is joining us today, but allow me to tell you just a little bit about this young lady. I met her in Atlanta. I guess it's probably been about 7, 8 years ago now. It's been a little while. And I kind of saw her floating around in the city doing her thing. I tell you the truth, she's been such an inspiration. I primarily saw her working in the beauty industry, as that is a part of her background. She's worked a lot with women, but then I learned that she has also served our community in the Atlanta area as a professor. And this young lady has taught literally hundreds of students English as a professor there at the Art Institute of Atlanta. But I was very, very intrigued when I learned that she had worked with many veterans, assisting them with overcoming PTSD. And she really gets into the arts. She really gets into this whole thing about self-care and loving yourself. But I'm not going to steal her thunder because she has so much she wants to share with us. But the final thing I will tell you is that she is the founder of 49 Days to Fabulous. So if you've ever heard that term before, then you already know who my guest is. She is Dr. Marilyn Johnson. Some people call her Dr. MJ. What's up?
Hey, BK. Hey, thank you so much for having me with you this evening. It is my pleasure and my honor to be with you this evening. It's just exciting because you're right. I do love helping people. I am Dr. MJ. I help you live the healthy way with time-tested tools that transform trauma into triumph, and where your very best friend is at the end of your pen.
Woo.
So the right way to beauty, wealth, wisdom, and health are my taglines, because that's what my mission and purpose on the planet is. And I just accept it with grace and with joy.
Yes, yes. I love that. You have some amazing taglines, and I love how you do that so that you help people to really remember what you had to say. You are truly a teacher. So what are you going to be teaching us today?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to start out with looking at the mind, body, and spirit balance wheel. So many people, and when I'm speaking, I know that we're particularly speaking to veterans, but this works for anyone almost in any area of their life, because once we can get ourselves in balance, and we're always struggling, and I don't want to say the word struggling, but we're always seeking to be in balance, because I'll give you an example. When a pilot is flying the plane, or when you're driving a car, you're always doing just that little tiny bit to keep you on course, right? A little bit of an adjustment you have to do, no matter where it is you're going, because you got your goal in mind of what you want to reach, and then you got to make those little adjustments along the way. So for many of us, we don't necessarily know what our end goal may be. And that is important, but along the way, if we can get ourselves in balance with the mind, body, spirit, then it makes things a lot easier. So just to show you this right here, I'll bring it up close so you can see. You have got 7 areas of your life that you want to have in balance. Number 1 is that you want to belong to a group. You want to feel secure. That's your tribal. The color for that is red. Then And I'll talk about in 49 Days to Fabulous, we go through all of this so that you will know exactly where you are. But for sake of time, I'm just going to go through them and then I'm going to describe one to you, okay? So now, the second area of concern or second area we want to look at is creativity. And that is our area of our body that's our reproductive area, our creative area. Then our third concern is our self-esteem, our finances, and our empowerment. And that's in our solar plexus area. Some of you may know these as chakras. And then our fourth area is our relationship heart area. And that is so important because heart disease is the #1 killer of people on the planet. So my theme for anyone I speak to is that just throw some love at it. Throw some love at it. No matter what it is, release it and throw some love at it. Okay. Now, number 5, communication, this area. And that is very important because how we communicate, what we say is one thing, but what our aura portrays is, completely can be different, or it speaks louder than what we're saying out of our mouth. Spirituality, this area right here, the spirituality, the opening of the third eye, so to speak, or some people call it the first eye. Anyway, nevertheless, that's our intuition. Do we listen to those whispers of wisdom? And then finally, the 7th area is our God or our universal. And this is where the energy comes in through our crown. Now, to give you an example, when a baby's born, they have that little soft spot, right? Well, as they go ahead and they grow and those plates of the brain fuse together, we say, so-and-so is just so hard-headed. That's because those plates have fused together and you're not getting that information in or that wisdom in as that might be able to be helpful to you. So what you're seeking to do is that you always want to be focusing on what area of my life is not in balance. And once you get familiar with this system, then you'll be able to feel in your body where it's affecting you, because we are holistically, we're a combination of the mind, body, spirit. And that's when we're in balance with that, then that brings in the money, the opulence, the wealth. And that's why I love your topic, optimal living, because that's how you get to be in your optimal living when you are in balance. So we look at this. This is one of the very first things that I work with people. And then what we do is that we have, like, say you got a line here, this is 0 and this is 10. Well, you rate yourself anywhere between 0 and 10. And then you try to draw a circle like a wheel. And then you might find you're up here. Oh, let me make it so you can see it. You might find you're up here in this area, but you're way down there in that area. You're over here, you're there. So when you try to draw a circle, how's that wheel gonna roll? But see, people are kinesthetic learners, they're visual learners, and they're auditory learners. So this gets all 3 of them. So as working with creative people and my veterans and folks that I've worked with, this gets all 3. You can see it, you can touch it, you can tell, and then I also work with aromatherapy. Your sense of smell is your most keen sense. And a lot of times when we look at it's plain as the nose on your face, that it exactly is. It's as plain as the nose on your face. So when you say something smells fishy, doesn't smell right, whatever it is, something just doesn't smell right. We use those as colloquialisms, but they are accurate because we know by the smell if something's going to work or if it's not going to work. And so essential oils are essential. So part of what I do is work with people to determine essential oil blends that work for them based on what they want to do. Now, the essential oils have a wonderful therapeutic properties, and everybody's seen a bottle of essential oil. So I'm not going to necessarily try to show them to you, because the one thing we have not in technology, we have not been able to make the smell come through the phone or through those vibratory levels. But you can get the feeling of them. So this right here is just a little kit that I work with the people, and we help people to give like a touch with the essential oils, and that helps to calm down. It's not necessarily a whole massage, but it's where you can touch people on their back, on their feet, known as reflexology, that helps to further balance what we're doing. So what I attempt to do, or what we're attempting to do here, is to be holistic in what we are presenting, so that maybe you don't want to hear this. Maybe you don't want to see this. You can't help but smell this. And then that foot, oh, okay, well now, you know what? Now you're talking. I'm gonna get my foot rubbed. Okay, all right, now I'm gonna calm down for this. And so you see, when we're working together, and then certain things may be different on different days, as you well know. So what I do is that working with people, everyone's different. And this is the other thing, is that using the essential oils, the journaling, and various tools to transform trauma into triumph, we are able to do something that's holistic for that particular individual. So that's exciting. It's very exciting. And this is something that I've been working on, because I believe that all of us, to some degree, work with some type of PTSD. We do. We may not have been a veteran, but we've been a veteran of an emotional situation. We've had a breakup. We got a bad grade. Somebody said something not nice to us. Because see, your cells do not forget anything. So whatever has been going on, your cellular memory, and that's why writing your way to health, beauty, wisdom, and wealth is so important. Your journaling is important. Let me also show you. This is a body here. This shows you, and you can't necessarily see it here, but this is showing you the areas of the body and the emotional burdens that are associated with them. And so that's the next step. We've gotten through the balance wheel. So now we're looking at the emotional centers of the body, because this is a term, and I need to trademark it. It's called emotional engineering. You know how you might go and have a house built. Well, you go see an architect, right?
Right.
You go see an architect. So the architect draws your plans. So say we want to create, we got whatever we got in our life right now, we want to create the life we love. Well, we work together, and then we to create the life you love through your vision, through your imagination. And Habakkuk 2:2 tells you, write it down and make it plain, right?
Yes.
So when you cover those areas, your nutrition, your feng shui of your home, your job, the people that you're around, your environment, you have all of those variables that you, believe it or not, have control over. But what happens is that when you start trying to figure out why you want to place blame on anyone other than yourself, that's when you give your power away. There's not one person on the planet that doesn't feel that something unfair has happened in their life, because that's a part of life. So when you want to take any time to say, well, so-and-so did this, this is why this is, or that's why that is, then what that does is that actually, in kinesiology, it weakens your immune system. So that's why my tag team is the opulent optimist. I mean, it's great when you have all the money, but your opulence comes from opulent health, abundance, optimal living, like you're saying, because your cells, when your cells are happy, if you let's just take a deep breath, and we can maybe do an example. It'll be interesting to get some feedback from this. Let's just take an example. Think of something in your life that occurred that made you really happy. Think of something. And if you can't think of something, just go ahead and make it up. That's fine. Make it up because the subconscious does not know any difference between what's conscious and it doesn't know anything between what's real and what's imagined. So go ahead and make it up. And when you get that clear in your mind, just visualize, notice how that feels in your body. Take a deep breath in and visualize. See, feel how that feels in your body. Whatever it was, and the reason why in my workshops, I will give you prompts. But in this situation, I just want you to take a moment and allow yourself to see yourself with your wildest dream coming true. If you can't see it, don't worry about it because you just keep on working on it and eventually it will come to you. Now, opening up your eyes, let's go ahead and write that down. We would be jotting that down if we were in workshop together. And I have an opulent optimist journal. You would be putting that down in your journal. And that's what you would focus on each day until you look up one day and look around and it becomes real. I'm sitting here talking with Miss VK because this is something that it's time for the word to get out. Mercury retrograde just left. So it's time for me to get out. But let me tell you, you're always going to have things to come along to get in your way and hold you back. Give you an example. My Facebook page, somehow they got it mixed up. Facebook page not working right. I'm trying to get it up now as we speak. I wanted to show you the journal. Somewhere, somehow in here, the journal has moved. The little men have come in from somewhere and taken the journal. But I counteract that statement because I should or could have been better prepared. However, it's always in divine order because now you know about the balance wheel. You don't know exactly which one of the emotional centers, the centers of the body and the organs of the body are related to the emotions, but we're on the right track for you to be able to see that you are empowered. Now, let me give you some benefits of journaling. The benefits of journaling are just like how when you go to the bank and the bank will tell you exactly what you spent, or your credit card will tell you exactly what you spent. Now, you will be like, oh my goodness, look at my bank balance. What did I do? Oh, the bank will be able to tell you. They'll have it right there on your statement, right? So the journal is just like your bank statement, except for it's dealing with your emotions. And your emotions are what's going to lead to the quality and the extent of what you have in that bank statement. There is no difference between, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. There's no difference between someone who is whatever you consider to be successful. Successful may be that you are staying home with a new baby and you have the privilege to do that. In America, that's a big deal because in America, we don't have the same, the same provisions for families that there are in some other countries and some other places. So that would mean if you had an opportunity to do that, you would be opulent. And your optimism for you to have planned that would be what took you into the point of being opulently optimistic and living your optimal life. Maybe another example, maybe not necessarily family, but maybe right now with the entire situation that we've had where there has been some interesting occurrences that have occurred and it's dealing with people's ability to breathe. That is dealing with lungs, the lungs, and the lungs are associated with grief. So what we want to do is we want to be happy. We want to watch comedy, a lot of comedy, make everything be as absolutely hilarious as possible. And the reason being, and I don't care how bad it gets, try to find something or just go take a nap, wake up, look at something funny. That's going to bring the endorphins and the serotonins, the chemicals in your brain. That's going to cause those chemicals in your brain to help to create the healthy cells that you need in order for you to be able to. I'm laughing. I'm really big on angels. The angels just dropped my this was sitting behind me and I felt something tap me. There's nobody behind me. But see, let me tell you, when you get your momentum going, then that's when things will start to help you. Because I want you to know, when you go to or you can get it from Versandra, however we want to do it. We can, and see, I shouldn't say that, because you always want to be exacting with the universe. This is an infographic that I created to help you be able to have your 7 steps to scripting and self-discovery. When you are scripting, you are actually, you know how a movie script goes? Why can't you write a script for your life? Why can't you decide that? See, there is nothing that can take that freedom from you, but you're allowing it to happen to you. Now, why do I teach this? Because I need to learn it more than anyone else, I expect. So it's a daily work for me to work on scripting, to work on my thoughts, keeping my thoughts positive, and becoming the best example that I can be for myself. Excuse me. Then I'm helping everybody else, because your energy, you know how you go into a room or something like that and it just changes. Everybody having a good time and then walks in. And then everybody's looking like, oh my God, and you feel that. And the reason, and you know where you're feeling it in your body, and that's affecting that energy center. So anyway, let me just give you these 7 steps. You're going to synchronize your schedule, meaning that you want to be in the same spot if you can. That may be impossible, but the same time is a little easier. So you want to synchronize your schedule. Then you want to select a site, which means that you find a place that you like. It might not be the same place, but I'm sitting on my comfy couch as we speak. I have desks. I have those types of things. When I go to the library, I don't sit at the study carrel. I sit at the comfy couch, and I like it for it to be in a corner. And see, what you have to do is you have to give yourself the options to succeed in the areas where you can. Now, you may not be able to go out and rent a workspace or rent an office that's private, but you could certainly allow yourself to find a corner of your home or a corner of your room and find out that's the area where I feel the most comfortable. And that's where we go into feng shui when we're working together, okay? So then you are going to scent your space. You're going to find the scents that just excite you, that make you feel good. And then that way it works with the limbic system, the oldest part of the brain, and it allows you to conjure up the memories, conjure up those memories. And we want to conjure up the positive memories first, so that however it comes for you, it may not necessarily be the most positive memories that come back to you right away. And I know that because of the situation that you have endured. But because if you can get yourself where you feel grounded and safe, and that's why you want that's why you really, really want to get yourself a space where you feel comfortable and you can allow yourself. Now, one of the main ones too is that if you can find a group to work with that's working together, that's even better, because you can hold each other's hand, literally, or you can do it through the social media groups. Okay. So now, important to select your tools. I love anything floral. So my journals have flowers, they have bright colors, they have all types of nice things to enhance my writing experience. Your cup of tea, your cup of coffee, whatever it is that you like, your protein shake, whatever it is that you like. that needs to be with you so that you feel comfortable. If you need, you may have some specific clothes you like to wear. Maybe you like to journal in your PJs and your comfy slippers.
Right.
All of that is important because you are creating the environment and you are showing yourself the self-care. And that's the optimal living. That's the opulence that you want to experience and that you deserve to experience. Because believe me, when you are out of sync, you're not by yourself out of sync.
Yes.
You are affecting others. Okay, finally, you start your script. You may not know exactly what you want to say, but you just start writing. You can start doodling. They have all different kinds of journals now that you can start drawing little pictures in if you don't know exactly what you want to write. But the main thing is for you to set aside a writing habit. Now, some people will tell you you need to journal every day. That puts you under the pressure because the little inner child in you is going to possibly rebel if you're not naturally a writing person. So maybe once a week, you set this ritual up for yourself where you go to, the corner that you like or the space that you like out in nature or whatever. You sit down, you give yourself an opportunity to take a nice deep breath, and then you write down whatever it is that comes to mind. And soon you will be writing your plans. Soon you will be creating because you're going to start to see that the things that you've written about are going to start to come to fruition. And that's really exciting. Like I said, I'm sitting here, I'm talking about the opulent, and my little infographic falls down beside me. I had so many other things I wanted to share, but and there's so much more. So what I'm going to do, and finally, the thing is that you want to surrender yourself to a circle of support. Please do not feel like you have to do this alone. You don't have to do this alone. You're never alone. Even when you feel alone, you are not alone because the great spirits that created you are always with you and they're always watching over you. And they never, ever going to lead you wrong. And they love you more than anything you would ever, ever imagine. See, we think that these things that happen are bad things, and they really are at some point or some way. But because they have happened or we're experiencing them, if we give into, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. And then that goes on and on and on, and that conjures up more of the worst things ever. Even if you're imagining worrying is, I call worrying an insult to spirit, because worrying means you're worrying about something that hasn't even happened. So what you want to do is you want to live in the present as much as possible because that's your gift. And if you move forward, then you are going into the future, and the future hasn't happened yet. So then you'll be disappointed if the future doesn't turn out like you want it. But also feel free to visualize what you want and make it be wonderful. The vision boards in the past couple of years have become very, very, very popular. Do a vision board, create a vision board, create and continue. Go to the experiences that you would like. If you want that car, you want that house, start riding in the neighborhoods where those things are. Start going to those types of things. Try new things. There's meetups. Even though we've been in this situation where we have not been able to be as out and about as much as we might like, we're just going to go ahead and pretend like little children, like my granddaughter. She pretend we having a tea party. See the tea? It's right there. See it? Oh, pick up that beautiful cup. It is so delicious. Your
Yeah.
subconscious mind is like going, "Oh, yes, it is." Well, you know what? Pretty soon I'm gonna get you that real tea or that real whatever it is. So those are some things that I just wanted to share with you and to be able to just um, talk about how excited I am about you that are watching whenever you catch this. I'm so excited for you because you have the greatness within you.
Yes.
Our grand creator does not make any mistakes. And if you are here, you are here. You're here because you have something wonderful to share. And
Yes.
don't let that go. And I'm commenting by Les Brown now. You know, Les Brown is our everybody loves
Yes.
Les Brown. Everybody love, and so that's what he says. The graveyard is full of that's the richest place in the world. People who let their dreams. And honestly, I'm gonna share one with you. I always want to be a stand-up comic. And I'm working toward that. I work now with elementary school children, and I'm working with them on computer science. And I'm also, yes, I am in the beauty industry, and I work with the young people there because anything that I can do to bring them along. And as a part of my program, when you get to where the age I am, you are a community elder. You're supposed to be spitting wisdom.
Yes.
You're not supposed to be talking about problems. Don't nobody want to hear your problem. Because like my son said to me one time, he said, well, mama, you had 35 years before you had me to work all that out.
That is something.
I don't want to hear it.
Yes,
So what I
yes.
do, okay, well, okay. All right, then. Carry on. Carry on. Yes.
Yes, yes.
So anyway, there we are. If there are any questions or comments, all of that, I'll give you my information where you can get the journals. I'm going to do a 7-day program to just help people get into the joy of journaling. It's the journaling to joy, the inner voyage. That is what we're doing because if you look, the minute you look outside of yourself for the joy and the happiness, you give your power away.
Yes.
Don't do that. There's so many tools, but the main one is for you to be inside yourself and listening to yourself.
Yes.
Listening,
Yes.
well, because when you do that, you're trusting the universe. Now, this whole universe, all of this, you are this little tiny microcosm. Do you not think they made a plan? I have it's a little tiny bird. It's a little wren or something like that. And that little bird has been running around here because I had a wreath on my door, and the wren really liked to live in the wreath. So I guess he thought it was a nest. So I changed it, but I'm noticing him walking around out there looking around like, excuse me, you have moved my nest. He was just at the door right now. I'm calling him a he. He was just at my door. He'd been walking around in here. And then one day he flew in here and he was flying around in here. And I said, this not where you want to be. He was very frantic because he was like, no, I don't see my nest in here. But he's been here throughout the day. And he just came in here and peeked in here like, I need you to put my net, what? Tell me something.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
see, you have your power animals too. So I'm gonna have to look him up. But and he little tiny thing too. But you know what? Oh, I know. What he want me to tell you is that, and I tell people this when they get worried about, this pandemic, and I don't want to say that word. I cancel clear. The appearance of some things that are different and forcing us to trust more deeply. I have everybody saying, you ain't never seen a skinny sparrow. Have you? Ain't never seen one. You have never seen one crawling up there with a sign talking about I need a bird seed. Not one. So what we have to do is we have to build that faith up. Build that faith up within ourselves.
Yes.
And allow it to flourish through us.
Yes.
So there
yes.
you go.
All right, Dr. MJ, I tell you, you have so much wisdom that you have imparted on us today. And one of the things I just want to highlight, because what you are really saying to us is that you mentioned a ritual of this practice of journaling, making it stick. And that is really about self-discipline. And we do have to create some type of pattern of discipline that allows us to come home to ourselves, to our heart on an ongoing basis, because we get caught up in things out there, and we do need to come home. And this journal writing that you are talking about is so very key to that process. Now, if you don't mind, please share with our audience how they can contact you, if you have a website or phone number, whatever you want to share, so that they can reach out to you if they are looking for a coach to support them through their own process of finding their journey to joy.
Okay. 49 days, the number 2, fabulous.com. 49 days to fabulous.com. That's my blog and website. And then everybody uses Instagram, so you can go to the Instagram at Dr. Marilyn Johnson, MarilynJohnson. And on the Facebook, it is Dr. Marilyn, MarilynJohnson, capital ND. Dr.
Yeah.
Marilyn Johnson, ND. And you can find me there. And then a phone number for me is 404-399-1954.